Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Dominique and this is a fresh playthrough of Animal Crossing New Horizons. So I have been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons since release, but we have two switches. We had a second island pretty much the whole time. The second island was created by my other half for him and our kids to play on, and we decided to do a fresh playthrough. We didn't really like the island that he chose, and now that we know more about the game, the things that you can change and the things that you can't change, we decided that we wanted to reset, start from the beginning and choose an island that we would be happy with, especially now that my other half doesn't play anymore. And the kids wanted like a really fun kind of theme park themed island, so that's why we started again. So here we can see we're at the airport making our character. So this is what you'll be doing first. You can change this. You have like a starting outfit, as you can see here. It will be a little while before you can buy some new clothes. And the hairstyles, you can buy new hairstyles later on in the game, and you can use a mirror to change your appearance. So I'm just going with what my character looks like on the other island, basically. So yeah, so you'll just see me creating the character. Like that little button nose. There's not a whole load of choices for different things on your character. It'd be cool if we had makeup at some point or something like that. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty much it. And then we're going to go on to choosing the layout of our island, and this is one of the main reasons why a lot of people will be restarting around about now, or kind of a few weeks ago, because we didn't know in the beginning that there are some limitations. We have some great terraforming tools in this game that we've never had in an Animal Crossing game before. However, there are some things that you can't change. Here we're picking our hemisphere. You don't have to play in the hemisphere that you were in. I decided that we were going to play in the same hemisphere. I like the changing of the seasons to match where we currently are. And it doesn't really bother me waiting for some of the other seasonal items that we can get. So like I said, we're going to choose our island layout. The things that you can't change are, number one, your resident services location. This is a big bugbear for a lot of players in relation to where it is, in relation to where your airport is. So these are the first 4 maps that were given to me. I did ponder it for a while. So like I said, resident services location. As you can see, probably the top right is the best location out of these ones. It looks fairly central to when you come out of the airport, and not too close. Those are the things that you want to look for: how close it is to your airport and how central it is. I mean, I have seen some amazing ways that people have got around it not being central, and you don't absolutely have to have this perfect symmetrical island. Lots of people don't want that. However, because they're relatively close to the airport, it just makes it harder to work with if it's just a little bit out of centre. The top left actually wouldn't bother me, because you could put something else next to resident services that would be more central to when you walk out of the airport. Also, you want to look for your river mouths. Now, from these 4, you can see all of the river mouths are located in the south and the west or east, which is great. The original island that the kids were playing on had both of the river mouths located in the south. Now, I know that some people like that because you can achieve quite a symmetrical look with that. However, you do end up with like smaller strips of land on the east and west of your island, and that can also be quite difficult to work with. So you might want to consider that. Just if you have an idea of how you want your island to be, then bear these things in mind. You also want to bear in mind the little outcrop of island. It juts out across the beach. Now, of these 4, only one of them has the larger chunk of outcrop land. That land you can put cliffs on, however, but the other strips of land you can't. So if you have an idea of what you want to put on that outcrop, also bear that in mind. I have the smaller outcrop on my other island that I play on the most, and it doesn't really bother me, but I did want the larger land just to have something different on this new island. And then you also want to consider the pier size. Now, I have the small pier on my other island, and it does kind of bother me. There's never any fish that's born there. I have to use fish bait every single time, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But I just kind of wanted the longer pier. I just think it looks nicer, and you can put furniture on your pier as well. And you can see it just jutting out. It's either the very bottom right or left on the beaches, depending on which side they've put it on. So I did and ah on these 4. Of these 4, there wasn't, I mean, probably I would have picked the top right if I absolutely had to. But the beauty of this game is that you don't. All you need to do is just press home button on your Switch and X to close out the software. That shuts down the game without saving, so you can start again. You will have to go through the beginning text of it, where you have to create your character again and put your name and birthday in and all of that, but it doesn't really take very long. And then I wouldn't be too bothered about the rivers so much. Apart from the river mouth location, the bottom right hand island on here, where it has kind of like the island on the island, I have that on my other save, and I quite liked the idea of having an island on an island at first, but then I felt like it was taking up a lot of space. I had like smaller chunks of land rather than a bigger piece, so I just terraformed it out, and that's something that you can do quite easily once you get the terraforming tools. So don't let that bother you too much. So yeah, none of these ones were the right one for me, so I decided to close out my Switch, and these are the 4 that I got given on the second start. So as I said, if you look at the bottom left map, that resident services is right on top of the airport. It's so close. You're gonna walk out and it's right there. That was a no for me straight off. The other ones weren't too bad, but the bottom right I felt was good because the resident services looked fairly central. I didn't like that the river is right by the resident services, but again, that's something I can change. It had the large outcrop of land. I quite liked the rocks as well. And the secret beach is fairly central. I didn't really have any ideas of what I wanted to do with the secret beach. And I still don't right now. But it doesn't necessarily bother me too much. And that is the other beauty of this game as well. If you don't have an idea of what you want your island to look like when you first start the game, don't worry about it, because there are so many tools and so many cute items in this game, so many different things you can do with it, that as long as you're bearing in mind those things that you can't change, you'll have a great canvas for any kind of island that you want to make. And so that is the one that I chose. And here we're just answering a couple of questions. That question that he just I did pause about that because I chose something else on my other island and I wasn't sure if it made a difference, but ultimately I don't think it does. So here we go, we're just boarding the plane. And then I've cut that video presentation out. And here you'll see your starting villagers as well. Your starting villagers will always be a jock and it's called an Uchi or big sister personality. And I was not all that happy with ours, to be honest. I've actually had Teddy on the other island and I kicked him out fairly quickly. I think some people quite like him. I found him a bit annoying, to be honest. And then we have Plucky. And I'm not too fond. So here I'm just seeing how central the airport is. And I'm pretty sure that once resident services is upgraded, that is going to be relatively central. So that's going to be good to work with. So we've said hello to our starting villagers, and now we're going to talk to Tom Nook. Plucky is there. And Teddy. Of course, Dominique. Most people call me Dom, and my name is Dom on the other island, but I wanted to use my whole name on here so that I didn't get confused with which one I was on. My name is Tom Nook, and I'm the founder and president of Nook Inc. Today is the first day of your new life on this pristine island. I'd like each of you to choose a spot of your own. So he's going to give you your tent. And we have to choose a spot to place our tent. Your very own tent. He's giving us our map. And then we're just going to have a look around the island. So our native fruit is cherries, as you can see. I know some people restart in order to get a different native fruit and flowers. You can just see on the cliffs there, our native flowers are cosmos, which I was quite happy about. I really like the cosmos. I think they look like really natural. I like the white ones. And then this is our outcrop of land. As you can see, there's a relatively nice chunk of land there to work with. And we have quite a nice strip of rock here too. Our water is very blue at the moment because it's summer. And what I decided to do on this playthrough is, as far as possible, to just put everybody on the beach for now. It costs quite a lot of money to move all of the houses when you're moving them out of the way and then back to where you want them. It's 50,000 bells every time. So if you're moving all 10 houses and you have to move them somewhere else and then to where you want them, that's going to cost you 1 million bells. So I thought we'll just put everybody on the beach, and then when we get terraforming and start to build the island up more, then we will move everyone. So too close to the ledge here. I don't know why I didn't choose that. Oh, there's a little bit more space. I actually really like the way the tents look. So we decided to go here. Well, I decided. It will just make things easier. And then I'm just speeding up the footage now just to save some time, because otherwise it'd be a really long video. I mean, it's already long anyway. There you go, Teddy gives us his tent. And we're going to get Pluckies too in a second. Yeah, okay. I'm going to put Plucky on this side of the beach. And I really like the villagers' tents as well. I really like that shape and the fact that they have like different coloured ones. I really hope that they add that as an item in the game at some point. My kids really like that Plucky's catchphrase is Chicky Poo. But my 5-year-old Jackson does say it a lot now. My kids are also going to be on this island. And they'll also be in the videos too. Everybody has a spot now. We can move on to more serious business, like throwing an island warming party. We'll have it right here. We'll just need a few supplies to get started. Since we'll all be living here together, this will be a good test of our teamwork. By which he means we do all the work. So they're all going to stay in the plaza. Ten tree branches to do the trick. He suspects they're real cherries. I decided to just pick some cherries anyway. I know he didn't ask for them, but I think I must have remembered that we needed them at some point. And at this point where you don't have tools, it's kind of the only thing that you can do, just pick up stuff. And as you can see, my outfit is different, and that's because I reset, so you get the outfit that you get is random. And I didn't actually mind this outfit for a starting outfit. I had a pretty terrible one before, and when I did my first playthrough. Here we go, last couple of branches. And we're heading back. I trust you had some success foraging for branches. You made quick work of that. I was quite glad we're such a hard worker. Our next task is to round up. Oh, I didn't catch that. They even taste like cherries. In fact, they are 100% without a doubt genuine cherries. You've already collected enough cherries for everyone, haven't you? I knew you were the right one for the job. I believe it is. Let's get started with the festivities. Okay, lighting the first bonfire. At last, allow me to properly welcome you to the new island. I have participated in many ventures and endeavours over the years, but this may be the most exciting. I suppose we can't call this a deserted island anymore, but what should we call it? sense a great opportunity. As the first residents of this island, we should be the ones to name it. Is everyone ready? So I put the name in there. Ready? And we decided to call the island Furbury. This is something that Brady came up with when looking at a random island name generator. It actually didn't come up with Furbury. It was something along those lines. But I think it's quite cute. Brady is my oldest son, by the way. I actually have 3 children, but the youngest is only 18 months, so she's probably not quite ready for Animal Crossing yet. But the boys really like it. They're 10 and 5. I hereby name you the resident representative of Furbury. Gonna make a speech? Let's have a toast with our cherry juice. To Furbury and the happiness of its residents. Cheers. Teddy's on the tambourine. I feel like I'm on vacation, but we actually get to live here. Groove. Just going to talk to everyone. Never settled an island before. This is going to be rad. So he says about taking a nap. So right now the game isn't running in real time. Normally it does, but just for this first bit of your first day it doesn't. So you can go straight to your tent and sleep. Here I'm just unpacking what's in my tent. So you get... I was having a bit of trouble. You just have to keep going up to it and pressing A, I think, rather than Y, which you normally use. I think so anyway. But yeah, we have our camping cot. And then we get a radio and a lantern. And then once you lay down and go to sleep, then the game will start to run in real time. Okay. Now, I don't time travel. I know lots of the community does, and I don't have any problem with it. I just never felt the need to. I quite like playing like the fullness of every day, and it doesn't bother me that things take time to build or demolish and stuff like that, or to wait for seasonal items. Animal Crossing is a game that's supposed to be played for a long time. It's not really supposed to be binged in a way. Obviously that's kind of happened because of the pandemic, but so I get why people do it, to have something new to do. I'm not totally opposed to doing it. I think that, especially for this save and the fact that we're recording and uploading it for people to watch, I will probably do it when it comes to getting villagers in or out. Jackson has some cute villagers that he really wants, and it doesn't really bother me to do it like that. I won't do it in order to get anything out of it, to get new recipes and things like that. It really doesn't bother me waiting. So when you wake up, when the game starts running in real time, you get your Nook phone. This is a really cool feature of this version of Animal Crossing. And you'll get different apps added to it as you go along in the game. Have you ever used a smartphone before? I use a smartphone way too much. This should be a breeze for you. These Nook phones are rather easier to operate than ordinary phones. We simply remove most of the features. It's your itemised bill. This includes everything: airfare, accommodation, labour tax, and of course your Nook phone, bringing your grand total to the modest sum of 49,800 bells. Of course, there's always a catch with Nook. You're being serious? I can't believe I didn't think of this. Bells are a currency that can be exchanged for goods or services here on Furbury. And here he's going to explain about a new currency that they've added into Animal Crossing. For the Getaway package, you can pay your fees with miles instead of the standard bells. I call this extremely helpful service the Nook Mileage Programme. The more you enjoy your island life, the more Nook miles you can earn. This is one thing that I like about the Nook miles, is that you get rewarded for your gameplay. Bells are harder to come by in the beginning of the game, but as you go on, and if you're trading turnips or just catching more rare fish and bugs and stuff like that, you'll get the bells eventually, and you'll rack them up. I've got millions of bells on my other save, and like I said, with turnips you can become a billionaire quite easily, but the miles are something that you have to earn with gameplay. Now, I didn't like the fact that it had become this currency where people were just exchanging Nook Mile tickets. I think people ask for a lot of them, considering how the gameplay that you have to go through to get the miles. And I still don't like trading with Nook Mile tickets, really. I have started doing it recently just because my 5-year-old really wants Raymond. So I have started accepting Nook Mile tickets for trades so that we can try and find him. And the Nook Miles it's relatively easy to rack up Nook Miles in the beginning of the game because you get quite a few achievements, but as you go along and you've unlocked most of the achievements, they are harder to come by, and you have to do just the regular kind of like mundane tasks for the Nook Mileage Plus program. So we're going to have a chat to Plucky. If you ever need anything, don't be shy. I was thinking about how to thank you, and I came up with a recipe for a leaf umbrella. We're going to be utilising this recipe as well to make some bells. That's a lot of weeds. He's doing free DIY demos over at Resident Services. Here we go. Just going to go and have a chat with Nook to find out about that. And this is the Island Bulletin board. When there's little birds there like that, that means that there's a new message for you to check. And here is resident services in a tent at the moment. Welcome, welcome. As you see, it's quite cozy in here. It's funny how cozy doesn't always mean comfortable. Let me know if you need advice on how to spend your time on this island or anything else. If you need some advice about basic island materials, you should talk to Timmy. He can help you procure some of the essentials for thriving in our little paradise. And if you want to earn some bells, he has a rather generous policy of purchasing just about anything. Quite generous. One more important thing. I'm offering a free DIY workshop that can help you really build out your island experience. This is one of my favourite things in the game. I really like crafting and the mechanic of finding these recipes and the materials to craft them. I think it's definitely added something to the game where you're not just waiting for different furniture to drop for you out of balloons or trees or in the shop or wherever. And there were different furniture items that you could earn with other forms of currency in the other games as well. But I just really like this crafting mechanic of this game. So here we go, we're going to make our first project. The workshop is overselling it a bit. When you see how simple it is to DIY, the basic idea is to gather materials, follow a recipe and then craft using a workbench like this one. Today we'll be constructing a fishing rod using common materials that you find anywhere. We require a mere 5 tree branches. We're going to go collect some more branches. You use these for a lot of your tools. And we're back. Let's get started on crafting that fishing rod. There we go, it was easy as that. So these are the first tools that you get in the game. They are very flimsy. That concludes my free workshop. There's just one last thing. I have a few common DIY recipes for you, free of charge. I'll just send them to your Nook phone. So I think you get some other tools here, the flimsy tools. It's just explaining fishing here. He's quite curious about the local fauna, so we're going to go catch some fish for him. We're still setting up, but for starters we intend to offer a small selection of goods for our island residents. Space is limited right now, but we'll try and have some fresh stock each and every day. I'm sure you're busy, but feel free to take a look at some of the items we're thinking of selling. Okay, so we have a water cooler and an outdoor generator, but we have no bells yet. So you can buy some of the flimsy tools from them at first. We also have some plant seed bags, some other recipes that you can buy, and your native fruit. We also buy things from you, including stuff gathered on the island, and because we want to support your efforts to beautify the island, we'll even pay you a little bit in return for any weeds or trash you bring in. Now we can learn the recipes that we got. try and catch some fish. There we go, our first fish. And of course it's a bass. And so right now I'm gathering up some weeds. I don't do it all in one go. I'm just kind of doing little areas at a time because it does get quite monotonous. But you can use these to make some bells right in this first day as well. I hate river fishing. What you want to do when you first catch the fish, I'm going to be keeping the first one of every one that we find, so that we can donate them to the museum when we start the quest to open that. As you can see, just picking up some more weeds. I wish that you could actually pick them up this fast. But kind of like once I started, I wasn't going to pick them all up at first, but once I started doing it, I was like, I kept just clearing areas as I went. If you pick up the shells as well, you can sell those too. Teddy fishing. It took me so long to catch a neon tetra on my other save. And this is kind of all you're going to be doing for this first few days. Just gathering up materials and unlocking some of the tools. And if you ever find yourself stuck for what to do, just go and talk to Tomlin or Timmy or Tommy. They'll move you along and give you things to do. So I'm pretty sure it's almost clear now of the weeds. I think these are some of the last ones. Oh no, still got an area there. So the first fish that you catch, just talk to Nook. And you have to give him 5, I think, and then you'll move on to the next step of the quest. This island could support a black bass. Who knows what other creatures we might find living here? I have an idea. An old friend of mine runs a museum and I'd love to send it to him for a closer look. Would you be okay with that? Sure. I promise that I'll take extra good care of your black bass. That reminds me. This is in no way tied to your generous donation just now, but I have a useful app to show you. And this is the Krita Pedia. It's a terrific resource for an aspiring island researcher such as yourself. So the Krita Pedia tracks all of the fish and the bugs that you've caught. And if you click into a certain critter, it will tell you if you've donated it to the museum as well, and it will tell you what time of day and when in the year they are around. Okay, so we've got an axe now. So for every one that you give him, he'll give you a little reward. So you have some lily seeds. So the seeds that he gives you will be your sister flower. So you have a native fruit and a native flower, and then you also have a sister fruit and a sister flower. These are ones that will be sold in your shop, and there'll also be ones that you find on Nook Mystery Island tours, but they're the only ones that you'll find. So you'll get your native fruit that's on your island, you'll get sent some fruit by your mum, you'll find your sister fruit on a Mystery Island tour, and you'll also find coconuts on a Mystery Island tour, and then the other fruits you'll have to talk to other people to try and find them. And here he is talking to Blathers on the phone. There's no way of knowing how many. 5 outstanding specimens so far. That is very exciting. But you'll have to excuse me, I'm with a customer right now. I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. That was my friend Blathers, the one who curates a museum. Believe it or not, he's going to come to our island to help us identify the creatures. I could use your help, Dominique. Since you've done so much scouting and collecting already, would you be able to help find a spot for Blathers? We'll need a good sized space to build out a really world-class museum, so do keep that in mind. It's all coming together. There we go, so we're gonna make some of those leaf umbrellas. You can sell stacks of weeds to Timmy or Tommy, whichever one that is. You only get about 1,000 bells, I think, for a whole stack of 99 weeds. Whereas if you make them into these leaf umbrellas, they sell for, I think it's 400 each. So you'll make more money that way. Plus you'll also earn miles for doing the DIY projects. So here I am just collecting some of the stamps that we've collected already. And if you play through in a similar way to how I'm doing here, then you can progress the story relatively quickly. This is the catalogue. It's a good idea to get in the habit of buying from the catalogue, because you also earn Nook Miles for that. And eventually you'll unlock an app for your phone for the catalogue. Just carrying on making some of these leaf umbrellas. We made quite a few. Oh, is it 300 bells then? Okay, so we're just going to collect up the last of the weeds on this part of the island. You can only get to this part right now. You will unlock a vaulting pool and a ladder as you go on, but for right now you'll just be able to access this part of your island. You do get a fairly decent sized chunk to begin with. And here is our map. I can't wait for that to fill out. I'm just trying to scout out a spot for the museum. I didn't want to put it, well, because we had the river right next to resident services, we can't put it there. That was kind of where I had originally thought that we would put it. But I thought I'd just put it in this area near my tent. I can't really remember my reasoning now, but I didn't want it just in the middle because I kind of wanted to put the shop nearer to the airport. just in the hopes that maybe we can host some people. If we have like really high turnip prices, it's just easier to have it there. And if you have people over just to shop, then it's just nice for the shops to be kind of close to the airport. They probably will move eventually. The museum definitely will. So yeah, just going to put it here. I think I put it here as well because I had planned to put a bridge down on this part of the river, and I wanted to leave enough space for there to be a path initially. Oh, we can see a balloon in the background there, but we don't have a slingshot right now. So this, I'm pretty sure this is the last of the weeds. So then this whole area of our island will be clear of them. And it's something to do on this first day where you're just trying to make some bells and stuff and rack up some miles. And you can place the fish and the bugs, so they get a little tank. So just placing them down to save some pocket space and to save them to donate to Blathers, because the next part of the storyline you'll have to donate 15 creatures. Is it 15? No, because you donate fossils too, so you have to donate a mixture of fossils and fish and bugs to him to upgrade the museum. So I'm just saving them because we might as well. I mean, I guess if you want to sell them for the bells, then that's fine, but you don't need to. And here we're just buying some recipes. Okay, we do have those. Collecting our miles. So in this first day, your priority is to like progress the storyline along, but also to do tasks to rack up some Nook miles, because you need that 5,000 in order to order your first house. And there are benefits to doing that. Plus, initially as well, you want to unlock the better tools recipes and some more pocket space, and the tool ring as well. So those are, the tool ring is 800 miles, and then the other two are 5 and 8,000 miles, plus the 5,000 for moving fees. So it sounds like quite a lot, but you can do it as long as you are just doing regular gameplay. I'm just buying some tools. Just trying to catch this pond skater. And I forgot as well, because I wanted to get the stone and iron from the rocks, and I totally forgot that you can hit rocks with an axe, because I always do it with a shovel. Like, I think because I've played other Animal Crossing games, like I just always do it with a shovel. So I could have got the iron and the stone sooner. I do realise at some point, I can't remember at which point I realised that. I think that's why I'm talking to them. And I like my pockets to be organised. I always have my tools in that top part of my inventory. Just doing a tiny bit of decorating. collecting some wood. And we are over halfway to the moving fees already, so okay, we got it eventually. That's why I'm talking to them. If you keep talking to them, they'll give you little tips, and I think I eventually realised that I can use the axe. So I'm just putting the first ones that I haven't caught before down, so that I don't accidentally sell them. And it also gives you that stamp as well for putting items out on the island. And then it's broken already. Those flimsy axes are so flimsy. This is a quick way to collect up your branches if you just continuously shake the trees. My other half learnt that very quickly and came to my island and shook all of my trees, so I had a ridiculous amount of branches all over my island. We're nearly there. And if you have a look at your custom designs, I thought that this would give me a stamp, but I don't think it did. If you edit your passport, that does give you a stamp. And if you take a picture. And there we go, we did it. About my moving fees. Very well, you owe 5,000 miles. Thank you so much. Indeed, that is 5,000 miles and not a mile less. With that, your moving fees have been paid in full. You're free and clear of debt, living in a thriving scenic island. What could be better? That wasn't actually a rhetorical question. Let me be more specific. How is that tent treating you? We do them because they are profitable, of course. I suppose the time is right to discuss the possibility of building custom homes. There are certain challenges to building fabulous homes in a remote location such as this. Challenges that do translate directly into costs, I'm afraid. But with zero interest financing and an extremely lax repayment plan, anything is possible. We have a miles redemption service for the Nook miles you've collected. When you access the Nook stop, you'll be able to redeem your miles for lots of interesting things. Be sure to check it out sometime soon. I hope you continue to enjoy your getaway package life. And then we're going to talk to him immediately after. Oh no, we're going to look at the next stop. So go and check in at the next stop every day. You get miles just for clicking on it, basically. Here we go. We're going to order our first house. Building a house means taking out a new loan in the amount of 98,000 bells. What do you think? Let's do it. Thank you for your business. I'll get construction started right away. Get to choose from 8 different colours of roof. Purple is my favourite colour, so we have definitely got to choose purple. Homeowners get an automatic Nook mileage program upgrade. When you use the Nook Miles app, you'll have access to all of the Nook Miles Plus benefits. Nook Miles Plus includes a nifty way to earn additional rewards. And this is like one of the reasons why you should prioritise paying off your moving fees and ordering a house. And I'm just checking to see if we can see what items we can order from the next stop. I want to know what colours of things that we've got, but we can't see that yet. So now I have some money. I'm just going to place some orders. And you'll now see that you get, if you press your plus button, you have access to the Nook Miles Plus achievements, which rotate every time you click one off. And I can buy that DIY recipe book too. So you can see you get a few basic ones. There you go. First wasp caught. And this is kind of it for your first day. Just getting the tools, getting your house ordered. It will be there the next day. It will not be in a tent anymore. So yeah, we've done pretty good for a first day, really. And that's totally doable. And I think this was about 2 hours of gameplay. So as long as you're like working efficiently and prioritizing stuff, then it's achievable in one sitting. And we have our museum. Blathers is coming tomorrow too. We've got our first item from the trees. Make sure you shake your trees every day. You get 2 furniture items, you get bells, and you get wasps too, which can be annoying, but the wasps themselves sell for like 2,500 bells each. So even once I've got the furniture items, I continue to shake the trees just so I can get those to sell. I'm just doing all of this just to collect more miles so that I can buy the tools, the tool ring, and the pocket space. I don't think the pocket space appeared there yet. But there, this is basically it. So for our first day, just continuing to save up those bugs and fish for Blathers and selling to Timmy or Tommy. And gathering up those resources as well, because you will need them for the shop. As you see, yeah, those weeds are only worth 80 bells. And that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found it useful, got some tips if you're a brand new player. If you have any questions for me, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Bye.